Hey guys, I thought I'd upload my deck list for Dragunities. Now this is actually a Fabunity Assault version. And it starts by having an Assault Beast, which is for certain of Assault Mode Activate, which there are actually two, as you can see there. There's two Dragunity. I don't really know whether this is Achilles or Achilles. I've heard both, which is for linking with Legionnaire or General Surgeon. Two Armor Mistletoe, which is generally for quick links to Stardust Dragon or other level 8 synchros. We have three Dragunity Ducks, which is obviously one of the staples of this deck, which when linked with Phalanx could make Stardust very quickly. Two Legionnaire for fast level 5 synchros or good card control when used with Achilles. We have three Dragunity Phalanx, which is again the staple, so we need that in the graveyard as fast as possible. We have okay, that's just annoying. I'm sorry about that. Back to where we were. We have her Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, which is very useful for getting out any of the dragons in this deck once they've, Stardust from the graveyard, and, any of the Dragunity synchros. We have two Stardust Dragon Assault Mode, which, yes, if drawn they're kind of screwed, but that's why we also have a Pot of Avarice. But they become one of the control elements of this deck, pretty much locking your opponent down. The amount of people that have Rage Quit when that's been summoned is quite high. Now for the Fabled element of the deck, we have a Fabled Serval, which is fairly obvious. That's when it's discarded, it's automatically special summoned, which does actually time correctly when used with Ravine or Dark World Dealings. Meaning that if we timed it right, we could have, say, Ducks with Phalanx with also a Serval. So we could indeed use Serval with Vajrayana at the end and still have a link to Trident Dragion, as well as linking with Legionnaire to have a Fabled Reagan for draw power, as this deck often does have trouble with hand control, but with Ravine it's quite easy to draw what you need. Two Fabled Ganashia, which paves way for level 9 Mistworm, which would have originally been Trishula, but it's banned. When used with Ducks and Phalanx it's level 9, but it can also, it can act as a sort of low beatdown. We have one Dark World Dealings for quick usage of Phalanx or any of the Fabled monsters. Three Dragon Ravine, fairly obvious, but we do have three Terraforming as well, because this deck really revolves around the field spell. We have a Heavy Storm for general control. A Monster Reborn can bring back Stardust or Red Eyes. I have been known to occasionally use Ravine to get rid of Red Eyes and then summon them straight back. A Pot of Avarice, which can be used to reuse Ducks, Legionnaire, bring back the Stardust Assault modes. We have a Stardust Shimmer, which can bring back any of the Dragon Tuna monsters, not tunas, single monsters, which is again fast for Stardust. One of my recent ads, after seeing somebody else's profile, is Synchronized Realm. Noticing that every time you do the Ducks Phalanx combo, you're going to be doing two single summons, which is dishing out 1000 points of damage, which doing this every turn can, really hurt your opponent. Obviously I've already mentioned the three Terraformings. We have two Assault Mode Activate, which are directly to summon Stardust Dragon Assault Mode for pretty much the win. Bottomless Trap Hole for control, obviously. 2 Dark Bribes, which I often save for when I'm going to use Assault Mode Activate, so I don't have the risk of losing Stardust in the first place. Dimensional Prison, so if anyone else is trying to use things like Stardust, I can take it out. Mirror Force, obviously a defensive card. A Solemn Warning, it's a staple, and a Starlight Road for another quick Stardust, while protecting yourself, obviously. In the side deck, it's a matter of preference. I have 2 Goes In Match, which is handy because everything besides Red Eyes and the fabled monsters are wind. Well, and the Assault Mode. I mean, the Assault Beast, but you're never going to summon that. Well, not really. So if you were going to put them in when you are facing like a mixed deck, such as Wind-Ups, I would generally replace the fabled monsters or Red Eyes. We've got a Light Imprisoning Mirror for when you're taking on Fables, Photons, pretty much anything light, which would obviously replace, well, 2 of the Fables. And we have a Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, which, well, I suppose it would replace Red Eyes and something else. It's really a matter of preference. Of the Synchros, they're very simple. 3 Vajrayana, 2 Gaipold for when you need it, and 3 Stardust Dragon. The rest of it's just preference. I have a Reagan for draw power, a Scrap Dragon for if I do need it, a Mistworm for the Grenacia combo, and a Trident Dragian, and Catastor for when I'm losing badly. And obviously Black Rose Dragon is a sort of last resort destruction. And that's my deck.